Hello and welcome to Collegiate Sporting Complex in the heart of Wollongong for this major semi-final in the Illawarra Hardware Man League. It's the minor premiers West up against the second place Thirroul Butchers today. Corey Hammond with you, and alongside me it's the voice of the North, Johnny Pett. Johnny, I know you're salivating over the prospect of this one. West Thirroul, an intriguing matchup on paper. Who do you like this afternoon?
Oh, Corey, I'm absolutely pumped to witness this game. It's going to be an absolute ripper of a contest. 1v2 they finished on the competition ladder, both on equal competition points, but West's on for and against. They had the nudge. So winner today goes into the big dance in 2 weeks. A few changes to the Butchers lineup, which we'll go through later on, but I'm leaning towards the Butchers. They've only had the one loss throughout the season. That was against Dapto in round 2. 3 draws throughout the year. I think they win today. They go through to next week, and they're going to give this big competition a shake in 2 weeks' time.
West, one advantage they do have, as we'll go through in a moment, they're as per the program, and it has been a feature of the season for West, the ability to put on their full-strength team, basically the whole season, bar a couple of niggles throughout the way. But the big question mark for them is the amount of match play they've had in the past month.
Yeah, they haven't had much football at all, Corey. This could be, I think, the third game they've played in 5 weeks. So we've seen that throughout the season, that West had a little bit of a stop-start throughout the year. And that's why they sort of fell off towards that inconsistency of playing rugby league. But I tell you what I like about this West side. I like their number 9, Josh Daly, and I really like Brad Speechley coming off the bench. Those two work so well together coming on in that dummy half role. I tell you what, it's going to be a big feature of the game today.
The benches will play a crucial part. We'll go through the teams now, and Johnny, I'll get you to do that. First, the Thirroul Butchers.
For the Butchers today, coached by Jared Costello, number 1, and at fullback is Lee Higgins. On the wings are Aaron Shop and Tom Simpson. Daniel Perkins is in the centres with Hayden Crosland. Callum Tatua ruled out through injury today, so a massive loss to the Thirroul Butchers. The halves, they've been so good this year for the Butchers. Jake Walsh and Jack Payne. The front row of Aaron Beath and Joel Ruskin. 2 of the ageing players in this competition and still playing good football. The man, Joel Johnson, their skipper. Look for him towards the game. The back row, Tylus, Luke Gallagher, Luke Dodge, Mick Morris. And the bench, Luke Shields, Ethan George, Ty McCarthy and Jared Whitty. And we've had word that Aaron Beath will start from the bench and Jared Whitty will come on and start the game today.
And West, as per the program, will go through their side very shortly. The man with the whistle, Taylor Cleveland. A good crowd in this afternoon. We just saw a thrilling reserve grade match between Collies and Dapto. Collies winning that one 14 points to 10. We're just about set for the big one. In fact, we'll get you to go through the West side.
For West, coached by Pete McLeod. At fullback, Tony Pello. The wingers are Luke Towers and Will Tom. The centres, Colby Pello. And the table-topping point scorer, Mitch Porter. The halves also been so well this season for West is Zach Green, Justin Rodriguez. The front row, Kieran Rankmore, Nathan Leotinger. Josh Daly will wear the 9. And the back row, Dylan Laurie, Glenn Stewart and Wade Stanford. And we have kickoff.
And we do. West running to the northern end of the Collegiate Sporting Complex in this first half. They get first use of the football. They go to Lee Tiagaga playing in the front row today alongside Kieran Rankmore. Stanford, centre of the park, 35 metres out from his own line. The winner, of course, straight through to the decider. That ball goes down to Higgins. He allows it to bounce and has to wait 2 or 3 times before he can finally pick it up and run it into the defence. And Mitch Porter's there to make the tackle. 11 metres out, so they safely get through that first set of the game, West. And now Thirroul, as they look to work it out of their own red zone. They shift down to Gallagher. And Gallagher's 29 metres out from his own line. That's Big Ruskin playing game 150 today, I believe. It's now running into the defence is Walsh. Walsh and Payne, what a 6 and 7 combination they've been this season. And that one goes to the boot of Payne, and Payne, he picks out Pello. And what a machine Tony Pello's been this season. But Johnny Pett, a good start by both sides.
Yeah, both sides completing their first sets of the game, and both good kick chases on the tail end of those sets. And it's going to be a great battle of field position today. Both halves for the Western Suburbs. They have just got great kicking games. He's got a massive, massive boot on him, Zach Green. So the back three for Thirroul are going to really have to be aware of those 40-20 kicks throughout the game.
Daly getting out of dummy half. Johnny Pett mentioned the dangers that he and bench hooker Brad Speechley possesses. West making good ground in this set. That'll be the fifth and last. They're 32 metres away from the butcher's line. They go to Green. Green keeps it low, and nice work by Higgins. He was alert to the danger down the blind side, and he makes the collect, and they can now again work it out of trouble. Both these sides very good in defence. Conceded less than 200 points this season. Both of them, Thirroul, they're the best defensive side statistically in the competition. 164 points all year. Now they work it out there with Simpson. 11 short of halfway. The loser of this one will play Dapto after their win over Collies last week. Coming from behind. They were down 10-6 at half-time, but had too many legs in the second half last week as they opt to run here, and they've worked some space, and it goes to shot, but it's called forward. A chance gone begging, but a statement of intent there by the Butchers.
Yeah, it sure was, and it was good to see Jack Payne just go to the line there. I thought he was going to kick. He's got such a good kicking game on him. Go to that left boot. But that time he went to the line, he had the numbers there, and the 17-year-old Aaron Schott found open space, but it was just a forward pass there from Daniel Perkins.
Now West. Rodriguez, and he finds Laurie. Impressive back row that West have, including former NRL player Glenn Stewart. So now Colby Pello will play the football, and Daly going from dummy half. Notice there were no markers and picks up a cheap 10 metres. He's finally brought down there by Walsh. Now Stanford stepping off the left, stepping off the right, and almost getting through. He's 21 metres out. That's the last tackle. They go to the short side. Rodriguez keeps it low. Work to do. Oh, it's gone straight through the hands there of Simpson, and it'll be a goal line dropout.
I tell you what, lucky there for the Butchers. Lee Higgins swooping on that. It went straight through the legs of Tommy Simpson there. That kick from Justin Rodriguez. Such a good kicking game, a short kicking game Justin Rodriguez possesses, but Lee Higgins mopping it up there in the Thirroul in goal line. And his positional play, Corey, this year has been second to none in this competition.
And already on a couple of occasions, he's been at the right place at the right time. A couple of probing kicks, one from Green, now one from Rodriguez. And a repeat set for West. 0-all the score, 5 minutes gone. Now Rankmore. And Leatia Gaga now, 20 metres out. Centre of the park. Rodriguez. Short to Laurie. Laurie's felled in a nice low tackle by Gallagher. Stanford again jinking at the line. Going to Joel Johnson. Got some help there in the middle. Now Rodriguez stepping off the left. Rodriguez! Rodriguez! Can he get it down? No, he can't. It'll be held up. Firing a warning shot.
I tell you what, a massive effort there defensively by young Hayden Crosland. He saved that try. Rodriguez going to the line, stepping off that left. He's just going to be so dangerous close to the line throughout this game, Corey.
Probably could have lowered the body height there. Went into contact a bit high. They were able to get under him. Still a chance as Stanford goes to Green. Green to Stewart. And Stewart's got 3 on him, including Dodge. Makes the tackle. 5th and last. Green again. They keep it low. And Higgins there again. Mr. Johnny on the spot.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? Lee Higgins there at fullback. He just knows where that ball's going to be 9 times out of 10. But the pressure's on the Butchers here. Another dropout to the Western Suburbs Devils. How much more can this Butchers defence withhold?
It's what West do so well. They strangle you. They try and suck the life out of you. One thing we know about the Butchers' defence, it's resolute and it doesn't leak too many points. A serious test here, just 7 minutes in. 3rd consecutive set for the Red Devils. That one goes high. It was a nice strike. Down to Rankmore. Winds up. Good top contact coming in. Now Stanford playing at the line. Rodriguez finds Laurie, and the good tackle. Gallagher really stalking Laurie. What a battle it is in this second row. A penalty, a chance to apply more pressure or take the two. What do you do, Johnny?
It's going to be a good battle on this left-hand side here. Gallagher v. Laurie. We've already seen some great contact there. So Gallagher's really going to have to get up and shut Dylan Laurie down. We all know how explosive Dylan Laurie is with the ball. And the 2 points there, they're going to take these 2 points here, Corey. Do you think this is a good option? This is their third set at the Butcher's line. They can't crack it. Would you give it another shot yourself, or would you take the 2?
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's semi-finals footy, but I think it's a psychological edge to Thirroul there. They've conceded that, hey, we're not cracking your line with any ease here, and taking the 2, I'm sure they'll be happy with what they've had to withstand. It gives them a break. It gives them a chance to get back up the other end. Thirroul will be loving this. Having said that, if they can get first points on the board, that's always a good psychological advantage.
Yeah, it's because points are going to be at a premium today. We've seen these two sides have a draw throughout the year, so every opportunity for points is going to be a big tick today. But the Butchers, I think they might be saying a couple little sly words like, you couldn't crack our defence, you have to take the 2. But, if this goes over in between the sticks here, it's going to give that little edge on the scoreboard, or also psychologically to the Devils. First to post points here today.
So Zach Green trusted with the kicking duties, which have been shared evenly this season between Mitch Porter and Zach Green. Porter with 80 points, Green with 78 points, and Johnny Pett pointed out to me just before the game, that's half of West's points this season. So Green to make it 2-0. Had 9 minutes of play. The strike's good, it's on its way. Makes no mistake, 2 points to 0. And West strike first, although it's, I'm sure, not the 4 points they were after. They've been knocking on the door. The Butchers refusing to open it at this stage.
It's been the first penalty of the game. We've seen in this first 10 minutes of this first half, it's been non-stop. It's been played at 100 miles an hour, and it's good to see the referee allowing this free-flowing game of football. It's what we all want to see in rugby league, and I hope he lets it play like this for the remainder of the game, because we don't like referees blowing the pee out of it and really stop-starting this game. And if it's going to keep flowing like this, we are going to see an absolute crack over another 70 minutes.
And what a take there by Green. May have had thoughts of letting it go. It was going perilously close to that dead-end goal line, which would have been a penalty on halfway. But we're now with Leah Tagaga. Stanford inside to Rankmore. Rankmore, one of these war horses for West. Super consistent. And Stanford, who's like an extra ball player almost. Handy acquisition in that middle for the Red Devils, as that kick picks out Shop perfectly, and he gets it back to the 30. As we see Payne with the football. Now Walsh. And some strong running again. Gallagher and Rodriguez meeting. Morris. Plenty of size in this Butchers pack this season. Now to Walsh. Plugging it to the corner. Sitting up nicely for Pello, and they meet him 11 metres out. Both sides getting their sets pretty comfortably at the moment. It's Will Tom. Now to Colby Pello. Two players to watch at the Pello brothers this afternoon. Thirroul can't afford to give them an inch. They'll take the game away from you. Stewart, yet to score a try this season. Can he get off the nudie? Stanford. It's looked likely early. He'll play the ball 8 short of halfway on the last. It goes to Green, and Green keeping this one low, and Higgins again positioned nicely. It sits up for him. Now he just goes from second to third, but loses the football. The first error of the game. And the Red Devils come in, and it's Pats all round for the defence. It was a nice shot.
It was a great shot, and it was Zach Green, the man who kicked the ball down there to Lee Higgins, and he chased his own kick so well there and put a massive big shot on Lee Higgins. Higgins coming up with his first mistake of the game, and the Devils, they'll feed the scrum 25 metres out from the try line. Pressure back on the Butchers here, Corey.
Certainly is. Withstood 3 consecutive sets before giving away a penalty, in which West's obliged by taking the 2. They'll get another crack. Green to feed. Rodriguez standing at first receiver. He'll pick up Laurie on the inside. Laurie, oh, he almost went through. It was a despairing tackle from Ruskin, the milestone man this afternoon. Leah Tagaga, 11 metres out. Short side Daly, Laurie, quick hands. He finds Rodriguez out the back. And Tom going for the line. And they wrestle him towards the touchline. It's ruled a strip. Was he trying to pass it? Was it a strip?
Yeah, it definitely was there. I did catch that in the corner of my eye. It was Tom Simpson coming in to make that tackle on the ball. It rocketed out the back of the Western Suburbs player. So I'm tipping my eyes weren't lying to me there. It was definitely a strip there from Tom Simpson. A little bit of a silly error because it was the tail end of the set. And now West, they've got six fresh tackles, 10 metres out.
Leah Tagaga sporting the head tape this afternoon. Like this man, a dummy half. Daly Laurie looking to crash over. Laurie's low, but he's lost the football. And the Butchers hang on.
I tell you what, he's been so dangerous close to the line. I'm just trying to find out who it was. Hayden Crosland was one of their men in the tackle, but it looks like the halfback, is it? Jake Walsh that got underneath Dylan Laurie and popped the ball out. So advantage there to the Butchers. They've just stood up in defence here. There's been so much pressure early on this Butchers line, and a big tick to the Butchers defensively so far in this game.
It's no fluke. They are the best defensive side statistically in the comp. Level of consistency that I'm sure Jared Costello would be so happy with. As we know, finals football, you have to lift a notch at the moment. They're rising to the occasion. See Perkins, football 12 metres out, who I understand Johnny Pett was no certainty to play this afternoon. The Butchers 20 metres out from their own line, and Whitty in the 23 jersey. Oh, he's injured. He's clutching at the knee by the looks.
Yeah, he went down pretty gingerly there, didn't he? He got flexed over and bent in that tackle, and as soon as he got flexed over, Whitty started grabbing for that left knee, so not looking good there for the Butchers number 23 as the trainers have come straight onto the field. And Whitty, he's tough as nails, week in, week out, plays well above his weight, so if he's gone down clutching, there is something seriously wrong.
Not good, as we mentioned already. Callum Tatawa out of this one. Daniel Perkins, who I just mentioned, had to undergo a fitness test just to play. So he's under a cloud. He's not 100% out there. If Whitty's gone as well, it puts massive pressure on the bench, doesn't it? Yeah,
massive pressure. But that man, the veteran of the club, Aaron Booth, he'll come onto the field and take the place. It'll leave Thirroul, as we see the stretcher coming onto the field. Thirroul will only have 3 reserves. And I tell you what, one of the other veterans, he might see some game time today, Ty McCarthy. He might have to come on to the field very shortly and play a bit of a pivotal role as we see Whitty just getting put on this stretcher, and that's bad news. He's had such a good season, Jared Whitty.
Never a good sign when they're bringing out the stretcher or the Medicab. Showing a lot of care with him. It didn't look good from the outset.
No, it didn't, and halfway through when he was getting twisted, he just dropped the ball, so we knew he was in pain. As we see the Butchers teammates just coming over behind Jared Whitty. A little bit of concern through the camp at the moment, just looking down at Coach Costello there, and he's shaking his head at the present moment, as he would be. One of his guns for the season is getting taken off on a stretcher.
It's always a psychological blow when you see one of your teammates down there and you know the inevitability of the fact that he won't be back this afternoon. But does this little break help the Butchers? They've been on the rack for the past 15 minutes. They've survived only just, but they needed that break, didn't they?
Yeah, they definitely did. You know, they've done a lot of work defensively. But speaking of Dan Nolan, their trainer throughout the year, he's been focused so much on getting them through the season. And his goal at the start of the year was for them to be the fittest team in the competition. And he said for weeks, he said, I'm not going to have these boys cherry ripe until the pointy end of the season. So the Butchers, they're so fit to withstand all that pressure on their goal line. It's going to take a lot of petrol out of their tank, but we'll see them with ball in hand soon and charge down the field.
We'll see them shift to that eastern side of the field, where it eventually goes to the boot of Payne and rolling along the ground, and Pello's there to meet it, and Pello running across field looking for a gap, but the defence is good. Very good. Gallagher and Crosland in there. We see Tom get away from a couple of tackles, advancing a few more metres up the field. They were up quickly. Thirroul, good line speed, a hallmark of their defence. Now Green cuts out to Porter, and what a good tackle by Perkins around the bootstraps. Now with Towers. So they get to the last. They'll be looking for a good kick. And Green, it's ricocheted, it's there, and nice retrieval work back there. I'm just having a look to see who was loitering. It looks like it might have been Ruskin, perhaps.
Yeah, it was. It was the 150 game of Joel Ruskin, just having a bit of a breather there and realised the ball was coming to him, but good work there from Rusco. But I'll give a massive rap to the Western Suburbs front rower, Kieran Rankmore. He's been super busy so far with the ball in hand. And also Wade Stanford, you touched on it earlier. He's getting in that first receiver role and really grabbing that ball. He's given the halves another option, and he's one of those players, he goes to the line, you just don't know what he's going to do.
We see a penalty against the Butchers, an incorrect play the ball. How often have we seen that this season? I wouldn't say a whole lot, but we have seen the occasional referee ping players for not making an effort to put their foot to the ball and play it parallel.
It's not the first time they've been pinned this year for that, the Butchers. There was a game at Gibson Park. I was having a word with Jared Costello before the game, and we were touching on how much it's been scrutinised this season. And Jacko actually said he spoke to the boys about going out there and actually playing the ball with their foot, because the referee they had for the day really harped on that the week before. And what did they do? They went out and rolled the ball between the legs. I've never seen Jacko roll a program up and throw it to the ground so quickly.
We might have had a repeat effort there as Rankmore again. And now a penalty against West. Might be an interesting, worth listening into this one.
Don't worry, what's wrong with it, okay? 8, please. Okay. The penalty's for the elbow in the tackle, okay? I'm giving you a chance now to fix it for the rest of the game, okay? If I see it again, it's going to go on report. We could sit down, okay? Simple as that. Get the elbow down, all right? Okay.
So Kieran Rankmore leading with the elbow. That was what the penalty was for. And a warning as well to Mitch Porter, any of that stuff again, and we'll see someone sit down. The Butchers, fine touch, 10 shy of halfway. What a bizarre couple of minutes. The team with the ball penalised. And it's a net gain for Thirroul. They'll start their set just shy of halfway. The veteran beef on the park now for Thirroul. Named in the A jersey, but starting off the bench. A tactic from Jared Costello is Morris. Brought down by Stanford. And also Rankmore. It's the dummy. It wasn't red. It was red rather very well by Walsh. Now the offload out the back, and it's with Morris. Morris is 25 metres away. Left to Payne. Payne with the kick through, but it was really well read by Zach Green and trapped it on the boot and picked it up, and West get away.
It wouldn't look out of place in the Australian cricket team in the slips there. Zach Green, it was a great pick up there. Not the ideal kick that Jack Payne would have wanted. He was looking to punch that one through the defensive line and pick up Aaron Shop out wide, but Zach Green, great work there.
And now Colby Pello out of 1 out of 2, looking to shrug away from another one, and 3 of them come in. He may not be the biggest bloke going around, but he's strong. And now playing nicely there at the line was Daly to Zach Blay. Fifth and last. Rodriguez over the top. Higgins coming across, just shepherds it into touch. And we'll have a scrum feed. A moment to catch our breath.
It was a nice kick there from Justin Rodriguez on the tail end of that set, just trickling over the sideline. So the Butchers, they'll feed the scrum 10 metres out from their own try line. But they've had so much possession, Western Suburbs, they just seem to can't crack this Thirroul defensive line that's been so strong today.
We saw it was very similar last week with Collegians. It was one try apiece at half-time. They took 2 penalty goals, which was intriguing in itself, and we just felt it perhaps wasn't enough for the dominance they had, and it proved to be very much the case.
I tell you what, they looked good last week, Dapto, didn't they? And there'll be a few of the Dapto boys here watching this game today thinking who they're going to play next week. And I tell you what, I know you win today, you go into the grand final, but I tell you what, Dapto are going to be so hard to beat next week, no matter what team plays them.
All offside on that occasion, West. Another penalty for Thirroul. Walsh will look for touch, and it's a nice touch finder too. A rare attacking opportunity for the men from the northern suburbs. Now Dodge. Finds his front. He'll play the ball 32 metres out with Morris. Morris trundling it up. Had Beath on his outside. Had no thoughts of passing as he takes it to within 20 of the West's goal line. Now the short ball from Walsh. Short side with Johnson. Johnson throwing the dummy straight at Leatia Gaga. And it's going to be told to play it again. Shoved by the mark. It could have been a penalty either way. Walsh. Inside to Beath. Only 2 metres away. Walsh. Short ball. Gallagher. What a tackle from Leatia Gaga, a try saver.
Absolute try saver there. It looked like Gallagher was in for all money. It was a beautiful ball onto Gallagher's chest. He still had a little bit of work to do, but the front row, a desperation defence there by Leatia Gaga, and that's what getting to grand finals is all about. Those little 1% plays like that will get you into the big dance next week.
18 minutes left in the first half. Just the 2 points this afternoon thus far. Both sides throwing everything. Stanford with it. Stewart on the inside. Little trick play there for Pello. Pello got out of one. Couldn't get out of the tackle of Beath and Gallagher. A few groans as one crept up a little high, but they've lost the ball, West. Another chance for the Butchers.
Well, I wasn't too sure on that one. I thought Aaron Beath there pushed down Pello there trying to get to the ball, but I tell you what, Thirroul, I think they might have got a bit lucky there on that call, but a massive opportunity for the Butchers to feed this scrum 40 metres out from the try line. It's starting to swing the other way towards the Butchers now a little bit. They're starting to have a lot of possession in Western Suburbs territory.
We should mention that these sides are no strangers when it comes to playing each other in finals football. Last year they played out the minor semi. It was Thirroul on that occasion, 22-4 winners. And then, of course, the draw in round one. What a game that was. 18 points all, and then a 2-point win in round 8 to Thirroul over at Gibson Park. Now Dodge. Down by Stanford. And so Daly in there as well. Johnson, Morris, Walsh. Higgins out the back. He steps away from one. It was nice footwork on Pello. Beat him all ends up. Back to Walsh. And Morris charging onto it. They're 9 metres away. Walsh again. Trick play for Higgins. They didn't get it right. And West come away with it with Colby Pello.
I tell you what, lucky Higgins was there to mop up and shut down Colby Pello. You give him any room, he's going to go a mile.
And so is this guy, his brother. He gives it to Will Tom. Nice work by Tony Pello. Straight up the guts of the Thirroul defence. Rodriguez. Wide ball there for Green, who steps off the right, but steps straight into the Thirroul defence that was waiting for him, and they gleefully accepted Dodge making the tackle. Now they turn it on the inside there with Zach Blay. Blay's up to the 30. How quickly it changes. Thirroul now on the back foot. Stanford to the line. Rodriguez out the back. It's Pello with it. He goes to his brother Colby. And Colby's 11 metres out where he'll play it. Fifth tackle for West. They lead by 2. Rodriguez gets an awful ball. Manages to get a good kick through. But a nice diving save there.
Hayden Crosland, what an effort that was. We've touched on him a couple of times throughout this game where he's been so good defensively, but there, that kick from Rodriguez, it was going into the in-goal line, but Crosland, he just dived and plucked that one out of the sky.
What an enthralling battle, 2 points to 0. 25 gone here at Collegians. As Johnson plays it. And a big hoof from Walsh. And off! Well, Pello, it's gone backwards. Luckily, and now a chance. Pello gets it to Towers. Towers steps back on the inside. Didn't want to flirt with the touchline. Blay.
Brad Speechley onto the field. We touched on him pre-game, so look for him to dart out a dummy half here. 15 minutes left in this first half. This is where he's most dangerous.
What an injection for Coach Pete McLeod. Stanford plays it. Rodriguez inside. There's the hard-running Cole Lodge. Onto the park now in the 15 jersey. Stewart with it. Stewart dancing, looking for a way through. And he got through Walsh, but he couldn't get through Morris. Morris was there to bring him down. Short side with Speechley. Was it the option they had them sorted out there? And again, that man Crosland comes up with the ball and cops a high shot. And they get out of danger again. So discipline starting to be an issue for West.
It might be a little bit of ill discipline there, a little bit of frustration as well. They've had so much possession down here, they just can't seem to crack that line as we see. Hayden Crosland, he's been absolutely flat in there. It looked like a shoulder charge from Zach Green. Crosland was just picking up the scraps there from that kick from Speechley. It looks like young Crosland's all right, he's up on his feet.
Well,
I'll tell you one thing that's going to be after these 80 minutes. There's got to be a lot of sore bodies out there.
There's some big hits out there, and we know that Thirroul are down to 16 for the game. Jared Whitty going off with looks like a very serious knee injury. Well, hopefully here's some good news coming out of the Thirroul camp, but early signs didn't look great. Of course, he started the game. Was named in the 23 jersey, but Costello opting to start him over Beath. Speaking of, here is Aaron Beath with the ball. He takes some stopping as well. So Morris on the inside. It's like Ethan George on the field there for the Butchers. He'll play the football. Again at the line, Morris. Cut down. What a tackle. Speechley. Johnson stepping off the left. Stewart and Blather in there to finish him off. Short side now. And Payne, well, he's picked out Towers perfectly. He'd get a gig in an Aussie rules team with that sort of kick.
It was a good take there from Towers. Just not the polished finesse that we're used to from seeing from Jack Payne on those kicks. They're straight down the throat of the number 2 from the Western Suburbs, Red Devils. And Devils in good field position now, working their way towards that halfway line. 12 minutes still remaining. It's been one of those games that's just defence, defence, defence.
It's a real grind. It's a forecast of rain throughout the weekend, but it's held off for us here. Despite the dry track, it's proving to be quite a torrid slug. Now Blake. 5th and last for Wests. Green keeping it low, and some communication there between Higgins and Shop, and Shop's the one who'll play the football. Well, 11 minutes left in the first half. The first spot in the grand final up at stake. Up for grabs. Crosland. Now the early kick. Pello was alert to it. And Pello hitting a solid shot from Walsh. Gallagher in there as well. Will Tom.
He's been rock solid, Gallagher, this side of the field in defence. Whatever traffic they've sent down his way, he's just really shut that play down.
Oh, get that into you. Colby, Pello copping an Aaron B special. Muscling up the Butchers. Now Speechley to Rodriguez. Short to Blake. Again, good metres from West. Chance for an attacking kick as they go down the short side with Rodriguez. He goes high this time. Oh, and well done by Higgins. He had 3 players coming through on him, but it didn't put him off.
I think the back 3-4 Thirroul have been super so far in this game. Aaron Shop over there on the left ring. Tommy Simpson on the right, but Lee Higgins there at fullback. Again, his positional play is unbelievably well.
And now the first line break of the game. It's Johnson. Johnson's got Higgins on the inside. Higgins, he picks up Payne. Payne throws it to no one. And there to get it is Crosland, but they've lost the football, Thirroul.
Oh, Joel Johnson, how good is he out of dummy half? When he sees one marker in front of him, he's off and gone. He created that, but just got that ball into Higgins. Higgins was onto Payne, but Payne just couldn't put that last pass execution there. But good signs there from the Butchers.
Maybe one thing that the Butchers are guilty of is execution at time. We know the likes of Joel Johnson can create chances. They only have the 4th best attack, so they haven't scored as many points as their finals rivals. That may be the issue coming into this final series. We know how well they can defend, but they need to make those chances stick.
It's been their bread and butter defence, the Butchers. But I tend to feel it's 2-0. We've got 8 minutes to go in this first half. The more that this low-scoring event and this grind, it's going to suit the Butchers.
You could be right. You could be right. They love a good grind. Mind you, 2 sides that love to get down and dirty. And chip away. Colby Pello with the football. Yet to see the spark that the Pello brothers can provide. They've threatened to on a couple of occasions, haven't quite been given that latitude. Stewart plays it. Cole Lodge now. Stanford, been one of the Red Devils' best. Lodge again, another solid contact. This time it was the reserve and Ethan Georges. That kick goes high from Green. Higgins, he's got time, and he's taken it beautifully again. And he gets away. Higgins stepping, weaving through the West defence. He picks up another 20 metres and gets the quick play the ball.
Big effort there from Higgins, and the crowd just applauded what we just witnessed. It was a good take there from Higgins. It was a spiralling bomb, but the positional play of Higgins again. He was up to the task, and the Butchers on the attack. You touched on the Pello brothers just before, Corey. They haven't seen much ball today, and it's on every coach's tip sheet week in, week out, stop the Pello boys, and the Butchers' defence has been doing that, but I just tend to feel if the West boys can get the ball to those two a little bit more, I reckon that they're going to see some points through them today.
Well, Higgins, he started the set. He'll just about finish it. He'll play it on the last. Now to Walsh. Walsh goes to the air. Chasers coming through. Crosland, he didn't quite have the pace to get there and effect a challenge to the ball. So Will Tom will play it 10 metres out from his own line. Not quite the end of the set the Butchers were after, but not a bad place to start the defence. Now Colby Pello. Look at them swarm in on him.
There's a few tired bodies out there now, Corey. Just watching the West boys getting back on side there. It's got that feeling that both sides are getting a bit tired. That person that's going to stand up and really make that big effort, I think, is going to score a try before half-time.
As Green looking for the 40-20, but it doesn't quite have the direction, and Higgins plucked it out of the air again. It's his positional play that's really standing out in this game. And their tackle too, they're already up to halfway. 6 minutes left in the first half. 2-0 the score to Wests. It's Joel Johnson refusing to go down. Short side painted dummy half. Walsh intercept! Away is Mitch Porter! Higgins is coming across. Higgins against Porter. He steps back inside Higgins. He's still going. He'll go for the corner. He gets it down. Mitch Porter scores. And West against the run of play. Make it 6-0.
Yeah, there was a try coming. You could just sense that one of these sides were going to score. And a pass there from Jack Payne going into the hands of the competition leading point scorer in Mitch Porter, who still had a lot of work to do. Lee Higgins was bearing down on him, but he got round Higgins and eventually he slammed the ball down in that right-hand corner. So the Western Suburbs Red Devils, 6-0.
What a turning point. It looked as if we were perhaps going to go in 2-0 at the break. A try against the run of play. Thirroul, they chanced their hand on the short side and they come up with duck egg.
The Butchers will be disappointed they conceded that try, but it wasn't a try from a missed tackle or anything like that. They've been so good defensively on their goal line. It was just a wayward pass there that Mitch Porter read so well and picked up that intercept. So as much as the Butchers will be disappointed they've let the 4 points in, they've got to really think about it. It hasn't been a defensive error or mislapse that's cost them points.
Mitch Porter, what's the bet that he's just sucking in a few big ones after that run? Well, he ran about 60 metres one way, then cut back in and then went straight for the corner. A nice effort by the skipper, a real captain's try. And now a sideline conversion attempt for Zach Green. And in the context of the game, a massive kick. A massive kick, but also the right option earlier on in the first stanza, bit of the first half there, to take that 2 points that were on offer. We're looking at the score now at 6-0. If he misses this kick, there's still a converted try behind the Butchers. If he gets this, the Butchers have got to cross the try line twice. We saw a goal-kicking masterclass last week in tough conditions. A much more favourable day for the kickers. Only a slight breeze, if that.
Wasn't he on song last week, Syker?
Unbelievable. Green moves in, strikes it, going towards the uprights. He's nailed it with 3 minutes left in the first half. It's 8-0 in favour of the minor premiers. Thirroul, some work to do, but they'll be buoyed by the fact they were able to really probe and find a few holes in this defence in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, what a kick there from Zach Green to put the Western Suburbs Red Devils 8-0 with just over 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half. The Butchers, they're just going to have to really muscle up here defensively and try and force an error from the Western Suburbs boys.
I'm sure that's one thing that Mitch Porter would have stressed to his side. Let's get through this set. Let's get to our kick. Let's force the rule to work it out of their own end. But how often do we see an error after a try? Teams just switching off. So Rodriguez on the inside to Lodge. The momentum with the minor premiers all of a sudden. Stanford up there to Blay. That's tackle 4. So far so good from West. Stewart, trick play. Cutting back on the inside. Pello, oh, that looked awkward. And he's in some discomfort on the ground, twisting the knee.
Yeah, that didn't look good. It was similar to that tackle that we seen earlier on Jared Whitty. Pello looks like he's getting to his feet but a little bit, but it didn't look good. He twisted and you've seen that knee bend at 90 degrees. So we said Pello just getting a bit of assistance from the Western Suburbs trainers.
Dare say maybe an ACL test, because sometimes you see blokes that they don't appear to be that injured, but it turns out that it's worse than expected. But maybe it's just a bit of a twist.
Bit of a twist. He's up on his feet. He's moving around. Good signs for Pello. Very, very good signs. Not only for him, but for Western Suburbs. We know how elusive and dangerous he can be.
Good news, he'll play the football with 1:40 left. And just the boot of Lodge. I don't think he was expecting it. I don't think they knew it was the last.
I tell you what, that's hit Lukey Gale in a very, very uncomfortable position, that kick. He's taken in the big deep breaths now.
Cole Lodge, maybe the first and last time we'll see him kick the football in general play. It was a shocker. And it's opened the door for Thirroul with 1:20 left. A full set of 6 in good field position. Beef now running at Green. Payne. Flat ball there to Dodge and Stewart up the top. Green down low. They bring him down. Morris, a busy first half. Directing plenty of traffic at the Red Devils' middle defence. Walsh. Inside to Higgins, they switch the point of attack. Now it's Payne. Out there to Perkins. Perkins gets the ball out the back. And the call's a knock on.
Yeah, just the wrong option there from Perkins. He really needed to either hold that ball or get it to Shop earlier. He tried to pass it on to Shop, but he's just come up with an error. And interesting, Jared Costello, he hasn't used Luke Shields or Ty McCarthy yet off the bench. Peter McLeod, he's opted to use all his reserves in this first half.
So just using one sub. I wonder what that's going to do in terms of the fatigue factor. As we count down to halftime, we won't have time for the scrum.
I don't think they're keen to pack it. It's been a brutal 40 minutes. These last few seconds, they'll be wanting to get to the sheds.
And get to the sheds they will. West will be doing it with an 8-0 advantage in the major semi-final. The winner straight to the grand final. The loser will take on Dapto in a week's time. We'll be back with the second half very shortly. You're in for a thrilling second half here. This is Illawarra Hardware Man League action. And we are back at Collegians for the second half of this major semi-final in the Illawarra Hardware Man League. 8 points to 0, the minor premiers West leading Thirroul 0. 8-0 at the moment. Johnny Pett. Work to do for the Butchers, but they showed signs of just what they possess in attack just before half-time.
Yeah, it was a great first half from both sides. 8-0 at the half-time break. It looked for all accounts it was only going to be 2-0, but that intercept try to Mitch Porter racking up the first try of the day. The West team, they looked good in patches. They absolutely peppered the Butchers line early, but couldn't crack the defence. The Butchers have stood tall in defence. They've had possession mostly of this ball, the Western Suburbs Red Devils. The Butchers need to hold on to the ball and march down to the Western Suburbs try line. But psychologically advantaged, I think, to the Butchers a little bit. They've withheld a lot of pressure that the West boys have laid down to them. They can't be disappointed they're 8-0 behind on the scoreboard because they've had their chances. Defensively, they've been super.
So one of these teams is 40 minutes away from yet another grand final berth as that kickoff's left to bounce. It'll be a goal line dropout. Well, inexplicably, Tom Simpson.
Well, he done it in the first half, didn't he? They put a kick down to him and it went between his legs and Lee Higgins had to push it over the dead ball line. On that occasion, he slipped over there and couldn't make his way back into the field of play. So let's hope Tommy Simpson shrugs that off and gets back to business out there. But a big chance here for the Devils to post points early in this second half.
Johnny Pett, I know you're big on the first 5-10 minutes after half-time. This is a real test of character for Thirroul. As Pello sprints onto that and takes a diving mark.
Well, if there was doubts about Pello's knee, they've just confirmed there is nothing wrong with it.
Now Blay turned on the inside as they look to work over the middle of the Butchers' defence. Short ball now to Stewart, and he's met by his opposite number, Dodge. They're 5 metres away and looking for a decisive blow in this one. Short ball across, and it's a try. It's a try to Jimmy Green. Is it Cole Lodge, in fact? Well, what a turning point in this game. 12-0, a try just after half-time.
Number 15, Kyle Lodge.
And Kyle Lodge, he's come on with plenty of energy, Johnny Pett.
Yeah, he's been good, Kyle Lodge. He's one of their real go-to men to come on and give the starting back rowers a break. He's so dynamic, he's tough, he's strong, and we just witnessed what he can do. He's barreled over the line and slammed that ball into the turf, and the Western Suburbs Red Devils post points early in this second half. Not what the Butchers wanted, but exactly what the Western Suburbs Red Devils wanted. They've just they're 35 minutes away from a grand final berth, and I tell you what, it's going to be hard for the Butchers to come back from a 14-0 deficit.
And Zach Rain, he'll throw this over. He kicked this in his sleep. And all of a sudden, a 3-try ball game it becomes, and as you mentioned, Johnny, a long road back for the Butchers. Really bashed the middle defence there. A couple of passes turned in, really working over those tired Butchers forwards. And as you mentioned, only one substitute in that second half by Coach Jared Costello. That might be a telling factor.
Yeah, he's only interchanged Aaron Beath to come on. As we know, Jared Whitty, we won't see him for the rest of the game. They've still got Ty McCarthy and Luke Shields to come on to the field, so we might see them early and rest some of these forwards from the Butchers. If they get Ty McCarthy out there, a wealth of experience, 195 games for the Butchers. He's zippy, he's smart, so it might just be what the Butchers need. But the Devils, they're looking good.
Another awkward kick-off. Almost rolling into touch. Towers was there to snuff out that danger as the try scorer has it now. Cole Lodge. Look at him. He won't go down. Morris couldn't get him down, and that's saying something. And now Green. In fact, that was Blay with the ball. Now to Pello. You have to see the best of the Pello brothers today. They haven't been needed at this stage. Will Tom up over halfway. Now to Green. Look at that. It'll bring down Snow. But well taken as they try to get shot towards the touchline.
It's well taken there from Aaron Shop. You've got to remember that he's only 17 years of age. It's been a massive effort from Aaron Shop this year playing first grade, but he hasn't looked out of place, which has been so good.
He's not a small lad either for a 17-year-old. Now Johnson needs to spark his side, the captain. As does this man, a lost football. Well, it's not going to plan for the Butchers, and Ruskin comes up with the error.
It's that man forcing the error that scored the last try. Kyle Lodge, a massive shot there on Joel Ruskin. And I think Jared Costello is going to have to turn to his bench very shortly there. He's got a couple of tiring forwards out there starting to feel the effects and the pinch of what's been a massive battle so far.
You can't help but feel that try before half-time was the psychological edge that West needed. They had their tails up going into half-time, and they've come out with that same intent, that same purpose. Now Rodriguez to Laurie, who loses the football. So the Butchers.
And there's that battle, Luke Gallagher up against Dylan Laurie. It was Gallagher forcing the error there, and the Butchers now ball in hand and their first chance to post points for this half.
Head on points, you'd say maybe at the moment just Gallagher with that play. But importantly, West with the lead. Morris brought down, 31 out. Ruskin. This time he holds on to the ball. Payne. Inside ball, it was telegraphed and intercepted. Oh, and the shot coming in, but good work by Jimmy Green.
I tell you what, Rusco has flattened Jimmy Green. There as we see Green just clutching at his hamstring there. But another wayward pass there and another intercept from the Western Suburbs Red Devils.
It was a telegraph ball on the inside. The defence was waiting. Now Lodge. The start of the second half by Cole Lodge. Rodriguez onto Laurie. There's that battle again. This time he tries to pick out Walsh. Gallagher comes in to help out his little halfback. Now Stanford. A Blake. Three-man tackle to finish him off. Now Green again. He's got the arm free. Still carrying players. Finally brought down. Fifth and last. They're 22 away. Rodriguez, chip over the top. He's found some space as well. They'll have to bat it dead. Perfect kick again.
What a smart kick there from the number 7, Justin Rodriguez. And we talked about it off air in the break of how good his short kicking game is. It's a massive bonus what the Western Suburbs Red Devils have got. Their half, Zach Ream, with the absolute mega boot on him. He's got such a good long kicking game. And Rodriguez close to the line. He's got one of the best short kicking games in this competition.
More pressure on Thirroul. Long drop out. Down to the air by Green, and Lodge again. He's got no fear. Stanford on the inside to Blay. He's been busy since coming on off the bench. Green showing it to Lodge on his outside. Held onto the football. Now Rodriguez. Rodriguez finding Pello. Pello had the arm free. He held onto the ball. Now Rodriguez looking to step inside Ruskin. He did well. He had some cover as well. There from Walsh. Now to the air. Green coming through Towers. Towers can't collect it. Or can he? No. That'll be a 20-metre restart and 7 tackles for the Butchers.
Yeah, they got a bit lucky there, the Butchers. It was a good cross to the kick there from Zach Green, but the winger Luke Towers got the fingertip too, and it's gone over the dead ball line. But the Western Suburbs Red Devils, they look like they've got a lot of points in them, don't they, Corey?
Well, they've come out of the sheds and everything is sticking for them.
So Luke Shields onto the field, finally, for the Butchers.
Well, will we see some new life for the blue and whites? Now Dodge. Bump over the top of Cole Lodge. Now Johnson. Looking for a gap. There's not one there. Lay and Stanford, with the help of Green, they bring him down. Now Walsh throwing the dummy, and Laurie holding on, and they drive him back. Last tackle for Thirroul. Now to Payne. Payne goes high, doesn't quite get it how he wanted it. And it's easy pickings for Pello. Spotted half a gap. Now Colby Pello. 14-0 West lead. 10 minutes into the second half. Green to Stewart. Stewart in and away. Running towards the edge defenders, and Shop and Perkins. Also Payne in there. Now Porter. First try scorer. 60-metre intercept. I tell you what, he wouldn't have wanted the try line to be any further. He only just got there. Short side Green. Got the chasers coming through, work to do here. Oh, and Higgins. He got an awful bounce. It juggled off his chest and into touch.
An absolute very, very rare mistake there from the Butchers' number 1, Lee Higgins. And that's what pressure football does to you, doesn't it? You get that second guess yourself there. A simple catch there. He turned it into a mistake. It's rolled over the sideline, and the Devils, they'll feed the scrum 10 metres out. And warning signs for the Butchers here.
It's been a near flawless kicking performance from Green and Rodriguez today.
Yeah, it sure has been. We've seen it so much throughout the year. Thirroul, they've had the flawless kicking game. They're 6 and 7. For my mind, they're the best pairing in this competition. But the boys wearing the red jumpers out there, they're 6 and 7. They've stood up today.
11 metres out, short side. Oh, and Porter, the gap opened up for him, but the Butchers players, they'd stopped. They'd realised there'll be a scrum reset. Do they try it again? No, they don't. They go to Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the inside. Laurie back towards where the scrum was fed. 9 metres out. Green slipping. What a crucial try it'd be if West can get over here. Rankmore back into the action. Stanford acting receiver. Rodriguez, Porter. Oh, sorry, it was Pello out to his brother. 8 metres out. Will Tom looking to go himself. He chews up a tackle. They've got one left. To the boot of Rodriguez. He's got Green coming through. He can't get there in time.
It was a good kick there from Rodriguez. A little too much pepper on it, but Jimmy Green, he was inches away from gathering that ball up and adding to the points that Western Suburbs have on the scoreboard. Still 14 points to 0. I know we've still got 27 minutes remaining on the clock, but it's going to be a tough battle to get on the board for the Butchers. They just seem to be playing all this football down in their own area.
It tends to take its toll at some point. Now Morris. Stewart and Green in there with the help of Porter. Now Shields out the back, finds Walsh, and Walsh finds Gallagher. Gallagher pumping the legs up over halfway. You'd have to think would need to be soon for Thirroul. 26 minutes left, plenty of time. They need to act quickly. Johnson, Kenny sparks up, big chip over the top. What about the pickup from Pello? Pello gets away from one, steps on the inside. He's still going. Finally brought to the ground, 19 shy of halfway.
I tell you what, Pello, that's where he's the most dangerous. Seen some absolute electric tries from him this season. Same sort of thing, the opposition putting that short kick through, him just coming up, scooping the ball and running the length of the field. But luckily for the Butchers, they got him round the bootlaces then.
And now Porter, he got away from one. There was Payne and got some help over the top as well from Gallagher. Now Stanford as West roll forward again. They've got a 14-0 advantage. Green to Stewart, tucking in under the wing. Fifth and last, on the narrow short side again, plugging the corner. But that one will go touch and goal. That wasn't the result Green was after.
Probably the first error he's made off the boot today, Zach Green. That one just rolling over the dead ball line there. So a 7-tackle set for the Butchers. They've seemed to have a little bit more ball in hand the last few sets, but they still can't really get over into Western Suburbs territory.
They're struggling for the field position. Maybe Shields can provide it. There's plenty of intensity in that run. Now Morris. Ruskin. So here's a chance. They're into the Red Devils half. Walsh out the back. They read that. Higgins was easy meat. Still a couple of tackles up the sleeve. Walsh to Morris. His opposites in there. Stanford, along with Leatia Gaga back on the park. Now to Payne. Payne goes high. He's got the chasers coming through, but no one contests it as far as Thirroul's concerned. But they took out Towers in the air and have given away a needless penalty.
Yeah, it was. And what a take there from Towers. He had the blue and white jerseys absolutely steaming down. But an effort there from Daniel Perkins tackling Towers in the air. It looked worse than it was. It sure did there. It's not in Perkins' game in any way to be dirty like that. So, as we see the boys, they just slap each other on the bum and get on with it.
But the Butchers, chasers, they basically stopped and said, well, here you go, Luke. Here's a saloon passage through to the ball and another penalty, this time for a strip.
I think a bit of frustration starting to creep into the game of the Butchers here. 23 minutes remaining, 14 points they're behind on the scoreboard. It's not the play to do that. You don't want to give away penalties. There's still 23 minutes in this game. There is a lot of football left in it. You don't need to be doing those silly, silly errors.
Particularly when another try could be a near fatal blow with a quarter of the game left. Leatia Gaga. Al Stanford, shaped to go inside. Instead he picked up Rankmore. Still going Rankmore. Charging towards the line. And finally the referee calling held. A metre out. The ball fed back, Rodriguez. Pello. Short ball to Colby, Pello. He's got the arm free but decides to go down with it. He may have just hurt himself.
He's clutching at that knee that we've seen twist earlier on in the game in that first half. So Pello on his haunches down, metres out from the Thirroul try line. But another great defensive play there from Hayden Crosland, stopping. That was a certain try there, but Crosland coming up with the try-saving tackle.
This takes the sting out of the West's attack. A much-needed breather for Thirroul. Looks like he'll stay on the park. Play the football as we see Stanford into acting half. And Rodriguez back on the inside to Blake. 5 metres out. The lead's 14-0. West favour. The dummy from Green. But it wasn't bought from Morris. It wasn't bought from Shields. They make the tackle. Stanford. Pello. Grubbers. Coming through Towers. Did he get there in time? Oh, you bet he did. TRY, 18-0 to West. They're blowing this game open.
What a try there from the Western Suburbs winger, and we see a bit of a brawl in the in-goal line. So the tensions are flowing, both sides coming together. It's spilling into the fence. A little bit of push and shove there between the two teams.
And we see Zach Green, the half, in the thick of the action. Those pesky halves. But Thirroul, they would be super frustrated. That turn and chase from Shopwell.
Well, he just let it go. He thought it was going over the dead ball line. He gave up on that ball. But I tell you what, Luke Towers didn't. He's the one that posted the points.
What a put down by Towers. Persistence paying off, and a rookie mistake.
Was it Zach Green that kicked it?
It was Pello. Tony Pello. Took it to the line, got the defence interested in the beautiful weight on the kick. Deft touch from the fullback.
So you could nearly send this one off as game, set, match at the moment. I know there's still 20 minutes to go, but 18 points behind on the scoreboard. It's an important kick, this one. The Butchers are going to have to score 3 times and then try and get a penalty goal or score a 4th try.
It becomes a near impossible task, or you'd certainly say at this stage improbable. The question mark is the Butchers. So we have a listen.
Caution for the shoulder charge of miss, yes. We'll have to stay. And punch him, okay. You both know the rules. 14, no punching. Okay, go to jump.
So Shields off for punching. So, by the looks of it, there may have been a shoulder charge from Shields. The West players perhaps taking exception to it. And then Shields threw a punch, which constitutes an automatic spell in the sin bit.
I tell you what, he's only just got onto the field, the big Moose. He wears his heart on his sleeve, Moose. He just loves wearing this blue and white jumper there, and he's just taken out his frustration for the day. And he'll have 10 minutes in the bin. And Coach Jared Costello, he will absolutely be bumping about that. Behind on the scoreboard now, it's 13-12 for 10 more minutes.
Well, it's been a grey afternoon, particularly if you're a Butchers supporter. 18-0 kick to come. And again, another important kick for Zach Green. This makes it a 4-scoring game. They would need 4 tries minimum if he puts this over to hit the front. He's a couple of metres in from this southwestern touchline. He's already nailed 1 sideline conversion today. And this one's on its way again. He splits the middle, and it's 20-0 to the Red Devils.
Well, we've seen a masterclass of goal kicking here last week, didn't we, with Harry Syker in those windy conditions, putting it over the black dot, and we're seeing it again here today. Zach Green, 4 from 4 with the boot, so the Butchers down to 12 men, 20 points behind on the scoreboard, 20 minutes remaining in this game, and it's looking like the Western Suburbs Red Devils, they're getting to the big dance first.
It would be some sort of fairy tale if they were to win from this position. Thirroul, that is. If you were a betting man, you'd be agreeing with Johnny Pett at the moment. So now the ball from Rankmore to Blay. Blay will play at 25 out from his own line. The bench has been outstanding today for West. As Laurie counts the football down the eastern side of the field. Speaking of outstanding, Stanford.
Don't work it! Go 4.
Back to the boot of Green, and again, finding space galore, but unfortunately, he's kicked it out on the full. Now this is the chance that Thirroul have been begging for.
Yeah, rare mistake there from Zach Green off the boot, going over the sideline on the full. As we see the Butchers, they will get the ball right smack on halfway, and if they are going to claw back into this deficit, they've really got to score in the next few minutes here. It's got to be in this set of 6.
Now or never.
Release 16. 11.
Beef. Can the veteran spark his side?
11, hold! Hold!
Payne. Short ball to Morris.
Release now, 10! Wait, D5, come on, wait. Hold!
Walsh this time. Inside Higgins. No way through for him.
16 up! No one early. Hold!
They've been shut down thus far today. Payne, short to Beef. Wrapped up by Stewart.
Get up!
Good ball and all from the former NRL player. Inside, Walsh there to dodge on the last. That'll be a changeover, not the play that they needed.
No, it wasn't. They really needed to look for that kick, that cross kick, or even look for a repeat set there. Dodge is not the man you want with the ball on the last tackle. But in saying that, the Butchers, they need to pull off a massive defensive set here.
If you both going to carry on, right, I'll pick it down. Play the ball, give each other room. Come back, 6.
Bit of gamesmanship on both sides there. The referee saying get on with the game or you'll be sitting down.
Don't work him down!
Let you tear Gaga. Now Rankmore. Starting front rowers back on for Wests. Now Tom. The pocket rocket bouncing off one. Another strong run by Daly. Now Pello throwing the dummy. Beef coming up, meeting him, but he couldn't hit and stick. And he comes again. And he puts down the Red Devils custodian. 5th and last. Here's the signal. The ball rolled through from Green. And again, Shop taking the odds and letting it bounce. He only just gets back in the field of play.
Yeah, he only just got back then. He wasn't letting that one roll over the dead ball line that time. He wasn't wishing that one past. But Shop getting the ball in his hands, but now the Butchers working it out of their own area. And the task is just getting all that much harder as we see this time clock ticking away. Just over 16 minutes remaining in this clash. The Butchers with all the work to do. 20 points behind on this scoreboard.
Well, they need a chance there, hand, and they've done it down the short side, but good scramble from West, although they've given away a penalty for a high tackle. But they need to throw caution to the wind, and Jake Walsh was the man to do that, parking himself on that eastern side of the field. Here's Gallagher. Solid tackle from Daly. Sits Gallagher on his back. Walsh, Payne, Higgins, Porter's on him. He throws the flick out the back. And Perkins. Well, they've lost 20 metres in that play. What about this defence from the Red Devils? They're muscling up, refusing to fatigue. Johnson with a ball that was grabbed by Perkins. Payne to Walsh. Walsh with the early kick. This might open them up. Coming through. Oh, and well, it was almost a chance for Simpson.
I tell you what, it would have been one of the tries of the year if that one had been pulled off. It was good vision there from Walsh to put it over there, and Tommy Simpson steaming down that picket swing out there. Just couldn't grasp that ball cleanly and keep on going. He trickled over the sideline.
It's been the story of the day for the Butchers. The bounce of the ball just hasn't quite gone their way. $20 points to 0. Well, I'm sure that Jared Costello has put the result out of his mind now. I think he'd like his side to really finish off on a high, get some points on the board, because Dapto, they're fresh. They're waiting for them next week.
Oh, they sure are. And me and Mitch Jennings called a game the other week up at Helensburgh, and we were talking about who we see winning the comp and making it through the finals. And I'll put my hand up. I wrote Dapto off and said I don't think they can beat Collies, but the way that Dapto played last week, it really stood up and said we are here and we're pretty red hot to win this competition.
Glenn Stewart to play it. He's done his job out on the right edge. No thrills about the performance, but that's what he does. He gets through his work. You know what you're going to get. A defensive brick wall out there on the right. Stanford now to Leotia Gaga. Rodriguez. He'll take the ball into contact. They're just going to play this game out. They'll look to their game managers. Here's one of them with Green. He drills it long. It might just have a bit too much on it. Will it sit up? No, it won't. So it'll be 7 tackles for Thirroul.
You sort of have thought that ball was going to sit up there. It's just been the way of the day, hasn't it, where Zach Green's kicking game, you just had that thought in your mind where that one's going to sit up and Shop's going to have a hell of a lot of work to do, but it's gone over the dead ball line. So the Butchers, another 7 tackle set. They've had a few 7 tackle sets, the Butchers, but they haven't been able to take advantage of what they've had with the offer of the extra tackle.
Well, we've barely seen an offload all day from Thirroul, and we see one there, and they pinch an extra 10 metres. Dodging Green. Stewart there to finish off the tackle. Now Beef. The ploy to play him off the bench hasn't worked today for Costello. Now Morris. 12 minutes left. 20-0 to West. Payne. Kick on the inside. He's looking for Higgins, but what about the read from the skipper for West?
I tell you what, he's read a few plays well today, hasn't he, Mitchy Porter? He got that intercept to score the first try of the day. He jammed up earlier on defensively on Lee Higgins, and he's done it again then, reading the kick.
Now Tom. The back three have been superb for West. One of the telling differences. Stanford plays it. Rodriguez will go the early kick, and he'll force Simpson to backpedal. It'll roll into touch and eat off some more precious seconds. And Thirroul jogging back now for the scrum, but I think they know the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, definitely. They know that they're going to have to be here next Saturday night, 6:30 kickoff next Saturday against Dapto. A big day of rugby league here next week at Collegiate Sporting Complex, as we see the Butchers and the Western Suburbs Rebels slowly get to this scrum, wind down the clock. As we see Thirroul make another interchange. Ty McCarthy on for the Thirroul Butchers. Tell you what, Pete McClare's used his bench well today, hasn't he? He's rotated his boppers around all day, and the guys coming off the bench, they've done a super job, haven't they? They've just come on, they've just gone full. Kyle Lodge, how good's he been today off the bench?
He's been superb. Zach Blay, plenty of minutes, plenty of involvement. He's got a lot of faith in his bench plays. It was a very much, you could say the old cliche, a 17-man effort. They've been superb, and perhaps maybe not the same impact off the bench as far as the rules being concerned, as we see Ty McCarthy on the field. It's taken all of 70 minutes, and we finally see him. That's been the difference. Rotation of that bench. And we should mention that Thirroul early lost Jared Whitty. That didn't help the situation, as another chip over the top. But Daly was there. He read it. They've been very good on cleaning up the kicks today. And another penalty and frustration as far as Thirroul's concerned.
Yeah, silly penalty to give away. Frustration is in the Thirroul Butchers game at the moment. Ty McCarthy just giving away a very, very silly penalty there. And Zach Green, he won't make this kick in a hurry. He'll just keep winding down this clock. him and Rodriguez, they'll just close this game out now. They're into the big dance in 2 weeks' time. The Butchers, they'll face Dapto, and it's... You look at it now, West, their first one's in. You got to remember, West won the pre-season competition at the start of the year, so rightfully so, deservingly so, first team into the grand final for season 2018.
And they're looking to get the monopoly on the silverware. Towers, he's got one this afternoon. He kicks on his inside. Pello's there. Oh, the bounce is horrible, but Mitchie Porter will get a double. No, he's out. Well, Captain Killjoy on the touchline.
Yeah, it was, wasn't he? The touchy, he found that Luke Towers had put his foot on the white line. He had the flag up. Everyone was watching the play from the kick inside. Everyone thought it was a try, but the touchy, he knew better. He knew different. He had the flag up.
You were all over it, Petty. You had the flag up here. But it just goes to show what strike power this West side have. It's going to be exciting to see them grand final day. I tell you, Thirroul, they've got to be careful now. How many times do we see sides go out in straight sets? It's about attitude, and they need to finish off this game like they're going into next week.
Yeah, definitely. But knowing a few of the Butchers players and around the Butchers camp, they are a team with confidence. They're a tight-knit group, so I don't think they're going to go next week heads down and, go into that, we got beat 20-0. I think they'll go into next week's game super positive. Super positive. But Dapto, they've got to be confident as well. They put one of the performances of the season on last week here. And I tell you what, one of them men that did stand up last week, Captain Coach Michael Henderson, playing all those minutes. Like, Hendo hasn't played minutes like that for years, and young Harry Syker in the halves just stamped his authority on that game.
Flat pass to Morris. You do talk about their confidence, but the fact that they've only lost one game all year, this has probably been the first time they've really been blown off the park. Is this uncharted waters for this particular Thirroul group, coming off a big loss?
Oh, look at round 2. They came off a big loss against Dapto, 20-0, and they didn't lose again for the rest of the season. This might be the kick in the bum that they needed. It might have been this might be the thing that they need going into next week's game. They came here today confident. Well, both sides came in confident today. Speaking to both camps, they were both super confident of getting the victory today.
And West, they'll get to kick up their heels and watch Dapto and Thirroul slug it out for 80 minutes, potentially more next week.
I tell you what, I'd rather be sitting here watching them two teams battle it out next week and knowing you're into the grand final, because it is going to be an absolute cracker. Two big packs, fast sides. They're just going to go the full hammer and tongs for the 80 minutes.
A late chance now for Thirroul with 6 minutes left. Can they get off the duck egg? Centre field scrum, maybe a set piece. Johnson standing behind the scrum. But they go the other way. It's Higgins, one-on-one with Rodriguez, trying to get away, but the cavalry comes in. Pello's in there. And so is Laurie. Laurie down low. And a penalty. Quite happy to just chew up some more time, give the defensive line time to set. Now Ruskin, the milestone man. Well, it hasn't gone to plan for him today. Out to Walsh. Walsh finds Payne. Payne looks to find someone out the back. He gets the offload away to Higgins under pressure. Calls for the tackle counter reset, but they fall on deaf ears. So short side they go. Perkins backing his way towards the try line. Horrible ball from Johnson. It was a favourable bounce, and now they go at the back with McCarthy. McCarthy trying to shrug off Colby Pello, but he can't. He throws a ball out and hope that someone's there for Thirroul, and now it's Gallagher who's back there. He throws it out the back. They're playing a bit of hot potato. They've got nothing to lose now. And Crosland, he'll play it 20 metres out. Now Walsh through the hands. The fend there from Simpson. Simpson goes infield. He finds McCarthy. McCarthy finds Ruskin. Back to McCarthy. Offloads now. The grubber going through from Payne, but it's straight there. But a penalty. A player taken off the ball, I suspect, as Rankmore gets up off the deck. He was the one that took that kick. Let's listen in.
No, mate. No. I warned you about it before. No, it wasn't, mate. You're still leading with the elbow. Regardless of where it hits, you're still leading with the elbow, okay? Go and sit down.
Okay, so that's the second time that Kieran Rankmore has led in with the elbow. And it sees him hit the showers early with 4 minutes 20 left. Inconsequential. The game's in the bag for West.
Well, he got the warning earlier on, didn't he, Rankmore, about using or leading with the elbow. He's done it again here, so rightly so. Have an early shower.
I don't think he'll mind one bit, as much as I'm sure he'd like to savour the win on the field with his teammates. So Dodge plays it. Ruskin, can he barge his way over? No, he can't. Johnson, double pumps. Morris, he crashes over. So Thirroul, they won't go home empty-handed. A consolation try. 20 points to 4. Well, they've toiled hard, haven't they?
Yeah, they sure have. And a good consolation try for the Butchers. And deservingly to their number 13, Michael Morris. Tireless again today. His numbers are huge week in, week out. Defensively good. Attacking, he is awesome. But Joel Johnson just so shifty, close to line. At acting half there, double pumped and picked up Morris on the short ball. And the Butchers going into next week's knockout game, that try would just give them that little bit of confidence. You'd rather go into a game with knowing you've scored points the week before than playing you've been shut out.
You'd probably have to say Joel Johnson didn't quite have enough of a stamp on this game. If he did, it might have been a different result, but I suppose that also comes down to the go forward, and maybe he just didn't quite have it today. Yeah,
look, the Butchers' halves probably haven't been outstanding as what they've been throughout the season. They've been so good, the Butchers' halves, on the back end of their go forward from their front rowers. Not putting down the Butchers' front rowers in any way whatsoever. It's been a tough battle. They've come up against a Western Suburbs side that were just cherry ripe today.
As we see, Luke Gallagher missed that conversion. The score remains 20 points to 4. 2 minutes 44 left on the clock. West through to another decider. I think if I can recall, it's been 7 years since they've held the trophy aloft. A little bit shorter of a wait for Thirroul and for Dapto. They've won in the last 2 or 3 years, but I know that there'd be some West supporters that would be very keen to see the trophy head just over the road there to Sid Parish.
Yeah, we are calling this game at Collegiate Sporting Complex. We look behind us is the home ground of the Western Suburbs Red Devils, and I tell you what, it'll be a big, big night back at West Leeds Club tonight, knowing they've got the week off next week. They're into the grand final, and they'll be able to sit back here next week and watch their third grade side play in the grand final. So a big, big year the Western Suburbs club has and they got the club champions for the Illawarra this season.
And the Butchers, as good as they've been throughout the home and away competition, a bit of a reality check of the step up in finals football. Taught a lesson today by West. Johnson looking for a 40-20, but it sits up and it's a horrible bounce. They get the ball back, it'll be a changeover.
Yeah, they'll just keep winding down this clock, won't they? No, minute and a half left until we hear that full-time siren. As we see the Butchers, they're back in the defensive line, ready to rock and roll, but the West boys, they're just casually just cruising around out there. They know they've wrapped up the game. They know they'll be in the big dance.
Will Tom. West may be hungry for more points as they roll forward. Cole Lodge, a try to his name this afternoon. Leotia Gaga. Now the field goal attempt from Green. He strikes it true. No, he's hooked it out to the left. The strike was good, the direction not so. And we'll be out to the 20 where we'll maybe have time for 2, maybe 3 plays. Not that Thirroul would be in any hurry to get play underway.
I think that was just a clock winder down to that one from Zach Green. It looked real good off the boot, but just spraying to the left of the upright. And the Butchers, 10 seconds to go in this game, Corey, and Western Suburbs, they'll be all cheers now, won't they?
They will as one last attacking opportunity. It's plucked out of the air by Pello, and Pello, he goes down with the football. And Wests are into the 2018 decider. Full time here at Collegians. They've beaten Thirroul 20 points to 4. Thirroul, they're through to the preliminary final, and they'll play Dapto next week for the remaining spot in the decider. Johnny Pett, your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, West were just too good. That first 15 minutes, all that pressure they put on the Butchers' try line. The Butchers, they did so much defence work early. It told towards the tail end of that game. They got tired. They looked a little bit run down. But a credit to the Butchers' defence. They really held and stood tall there during that period of the game. Mitchie Porter's tried just before half-time. It broke the camel's back, didn't it? They went in the sheds 8 points to 0. West come out just on song in that second half. Zach Blay crossing that line early in the second half. It was the game changer. You could see in the Butchers' demeanour, their heads went down. But knowing the Waller boys out there, they'll be upset about this, but they'll be knowing next week they're going into a prelim final. Another chance at going into the big dance. But West, they look good, don't they?
They certainly do, and they've got that all-important week off and the saloon passage through to the decider. Just quickly, Johnny, your man of the match?
Oh, I tell you what, it's not often you give it to someone coming off the bench, but Zach Blay, he was huge today. He was massive. That try, his metres were big up the middle. The forwards were good for West. Kieran Rankmore, Dylan Laurie, that battle with Lukey Gallagher on that left-hand side, it was unreal today. And the kicking game of Zach Green and also Justin Rodriguez was outstanding. Mitchie Porter was good. They were good across the board. You couldn't really have one standout. There's 3 or 4 throughout that team that were really good. For the Butchers, they had the off day today, didn't they? But Jolie Johnson led them round the paddock well today.
Thank you for your call today. A pleasure as always. You'll be calling the preliminary final next week with Mitch Jennings. Look forward to that one. That's a twilight kickoff Saturday, 6 o'clock kickoff. 6:30
kickoff.
6:30
Big
kickoff.
day of rugby league here. We've got the girls' grand finals, the third grade grand finals. Then you've got the under 18s, reserve grade and first grade prelim finals. So a massive day of rugby league here next weekend. And Bar TV covering it all once again.
I'll be at a wedding next week, but I'll be on deck for the full team on grand final day. Look forward to catching up with yourself and Jeno. West through to the grand final today. 20 points to 4 winners over Thirroul in the major semi. Look forward to having your company next time.